Tonight, we are going to wrap a tired heart in kindness. Not to fix it, not to improve it, not to ask anything of it, but simply to hold it gently, the way you would hold something you love, and to let the oldest and warmest of the Buddha's teachings fall over it softly, like a warm blanket in the dark. For there are nights when what we need is not another lesson, not another effort, but only kindness, to be met at last with gentleness, to feel the guarded heart soften, to remember that we are worthy of warmth. And that is what we will offer tonight, through the ancient and tender words of loving kindness. There is a particular tiredness that lives not in the body, but in the heart, a weariness that comes from a day or a life of being braced, guarded, hard on ourselves, of giving and rarely being met with softness in return. And on nights like these, we lie down with a heart that is tired in this deeper way, longing not for sleep alone, but for tenderness, for the feeling of being cared for, of being held. Tonight, we let that longing be answered. We let kindness in. The teaching we will sit with is one the Buddha gave long ago, a teaching so beloved that it has been recited as a kind of blessing and gentle protection in temples and homes and quiet hearts for more than 2,000 years. It is often called the Metta Sutta, the discourse on loving kindness, and the word at its heart, metta, is usually translated as loving kindness, or sometimes as friendliness or goodwill, a warm, boundless, unconditional goodwill, a wish for the happiness and ease of all beings, including and beginning with ourselves. It is not a grand or complicated teaching. It is simply the cultivation of a warm and open heart, and the gentle wish, offered again and again, may you be well, may you be happy, may you be at ease. And tonight, we will let those simple, warm words unfold slowly over us and soften the tired heart and carry us gently towards sleep. Before we begin, feel free to share what time it is and where you are listening from. You do not need to know anything about Buddhism to rest here, and you do not need to remember a single word in the morning. There is nothing to study and nothing to achieve. So take a soft, deep breath. Let your shoulders come down from wherever they have crept. Let the bed hold your full weight. And let us begin together, gently. There is a traditional story of how this teaching came to be given, and it is a gentle one, worth telling as we begin. It is said that a group of monks went off into a forest to meditate through the rainy season, seeking a quiet place to practice. But the forest was already home to other beings, spirits of the trees and the wild places, and these beings were unsettled by the monks' presence and troubled them, filling the nights with fears and disturbances, so that the monks could find no peace. Frightened and unable to practice, the monks returned to the Buddha and told him they could not stay in that forest, for it was full of fear and unrest. Now the Buddha did not tell them to fight the spirits, or to flee, or to arm themselves against the fears of the forest. Instead, he gave them something far gentler and far more powerful. He taught them the practice of loving kindness, of metta, and told them to return to the very same forest, not with fear, not with weapons, but with warmth. He told them to radiate goodwill in every direction, to the trees, to the spirits, to all the beings of that place, wishing them well, offering them kindness, holding the whole forest in a boundless and loving heart. And so, the monks returned, and this time, instead of bracing against the forest in fear, they filled it with loving kindness, wishing every being in it happiness and peace, And the story tells that the spirits of the forest, met now not with fear but with warmth, were softened and welcomed the monks, and the forest that had been full of fear became a place of deep peace, and the monks dwelt there in safety and stillness for the rest of the season. Let us stay with that image a moment, the frightened forest transformed by kindness into a place of peace, for it holds the whole heart of the teaching we will sit with tonight. The monks did not conquer their fears, they dissolved them with warmth. They did not defend against the troubling forest, they befriended it, and what had been a place of unrest became, through the simple radiating of loving kindness, a place of deep and welcoming peace. This is what metta does. It does not fight what troubles us, it softens it. It does not brace against the world, it opens to it with warmth, and it transforms the very ground we stand on, turning fear into peace, hardness into softness, unrest into rest, simply by the warmth of an open and loving heart. And your own heart tonight may be a little like that troubled forest, guarded, braced, unsettled, full of the small fears and hardnesses of a long day or a long life. And tonight, we will do for it what the Buddha taught the monks to do for the forest. Not fight it, not brace against it, but fill it, gently, with warmth. We will radiate loving kindness into the tired and guarded heart, wishing it well, offering it the tenderness it has longed for, until the hardness softens and the fear eases, and the troubled heart becomes, like the forest, a place of deep and welcoming peace. So let us begin to let that warmth in now, gently. Rest a hand, if you like, over your own heart, over the center of your chest, and feel the simple warmth of your own touch, the warmth of being cared for, even by yourself, even now. And let the first soft wish of loving kindness begin to form, offered to the one who most rarely receives it, which is you. May you be well. May you be at ease. May you be held tonight in kindness. Let those words fall over the tired heart like a warm blanket, asking nothing, fixing nothing, only offering warmth, only wishing you well, only holding you gently in the dark. Feel the heart, perhaps a little guarded, perhaps a little braced, beginning to soften under that warmth, the way the frightened forest softened, the way anything softens when it is finally met with kindness instead of demand. It is worth pausing on what this warmth actually is, this metta, for it is gentler and simpler than we might think. It is not a grand passion, not a dramatic feeling, not something we have to work ourselves up into. It is simply goodwill, the quiet, warm wish that a being be well, be safe, be happy, be at ease. It is the warmth you feel, unbidden, when you see a sleeping child, or a small animal at rest, or an old couple walking hand in hand. That soft, spontaneous wish that they be well. That warmth is metta, and it is already in you, already a part of your heart, and the practice is simply to cultivate it, to encourage it, to let it grow and widen until it holds first yourself, and then those you love, and then, in time, all beings everywhere. There is nothing to force. There is only a warmth to allow, a goodwill to encourage, a tenderness already in you to let grow. And this warmth, gently cultivated, has a remarkable power to soothe the one who holds it. For metta is not only a gift to those we send it to, it is first of all a balm to our own hearts. When we fill the heart with warmth and goodwill, that warmth soothes and softens the very heart that holds it. The one who wishes others well is warmed first before anyone else by the wishing. And so this practice we begin tonight is not a labor, not a giving away that costs us. It is a receiving, a warming, a softening of our own tired hearts in the very act of wishing well. To cultivate loving kindness is to bathe your own heart in warmth. And this is why it is such a perfect medicine for a tired heart at the end of a long day. It asks nothing, costs nothing, and warms us the moment we begin. So let us begin to cultivate that warmth now, gently, in the simplest way. Rest a hand over the center of your chest, over your heart, and feel the warmth of your own touch there. And as you breathe, imagine that each breath draws a little warmth into the heart, and each breath out lets that warmth spread a little further through you. Breathing in, warmth gathers in the heart. Breathing out, it spreads, softening everything it touches. There is nothing to force, only a warmth to allow, gathering with each breath, spreading with each breath, filling the tired heart slowly with a gentle, golden goodwill. And beneath your hand, feel the heart, perhaps guarded, perhaps braced, beginning to warm, beginning to soften, beginning to open, like a cold room slowly filling with the warmth of a newly lit fire. Let it warm, let it soften, let the kindness in. And as the warmth gathers, let the simple wish arise with it, offered first to yourself. May I be well, may I be at ease, may my tired heart be warmed and held. Let each breath carry that wish a little deeper. Let each warm exhale spread it a little further, until the whole of you is bathed, gently, in the soft golden warmth of your own loving kindness, and the tired heart, at last, begins to rest. There is something else worth knowing about this teaching, which is that it was given not as a lofty ideal, but as a practical refuge, a shelter for frightened and weary hearts. The monks in the forest were not advanced sages. They were ordinary practitioners, afraid, unable to rest, longing for peace. And the Buddha gave them loving kindness not as a distant goal, but as a present comfort, a warmth they could wrap around themselves that very night, in that very forest, to transform their fear into peace. And so it is for us. This is not a teaching for some other holier time. It is a comfort for tonight, for this tired heart, for this weary hour. You may wrap yourself in it now, as the monks did, and let it transform whatever fear or hardness you have carried into the dark, softening it, warming it, turning the troubled forest of your own heart into a place of peace. So let the warmth deepen now, and let it hold whatever you have brought into this night, whatever weariness, whatever worry, whatever hardness. Let the loving kindness gather around it like warm arms, not fighting it, not fixing it, only holding it, warming it, softening it with goodwill. May this tired heart be well. May this weary heart be at ease. May whatever I have carried into this night be held and softened and warmed. Let the warmth spread through the whole of you now, from the heart outward, down the arms, through the chest, into the belly, warming and softening everything it touches, until the whole troubled forest of the heart grows quiet and peaceful and warm, and you rest in it, safe and held, as the monks rested in their forest made gentle by kindness. And notice how the body itself responds to this warmth, softening under it as a cold thing softens in the sun. Where the heart holds warmth, the shoulders begin to drop, the jaw begins to loosen, the breath begins to deepen and slow. Kindness is not only a feeling, it is a physical softening, a letting go of the bracing we carry through our days. So as the warmth of loving kindness gathers in the heart, let it flow outward into the whole body, softening each place it reaches. The tight shoulders softening, the clenched jaw releasing, the guarded chest opening, the whole body held in warmth, letting go of its long bracing and settling into rest. Let the kindness be felt in the flesh, a warm and gentle softening, spreading from the heart through the whole of you, until you lie warm and soft and held, the tired body and the tired heart both bathed together in the golden warmth of goodwill. This is the gift of the Metta Sutta, offered across more than 2,000 years to every tired and frightened heart that has ever received it. Not a demand, not a lesson, but a warmth, a shelter, a blessing. And it is offered to you tonight, exactly as it was offered to the monks in their forest, exactly as it has been offered to countless weary hearts since. You have only to receive it, to let the warmth in, to wrap it around yourself in the dark, and to rest in its ancient and gentle blessing. May you be well. May you be at ease. May you be held tonight in the warmth of loving kindness, as all who have ever received these words have been held. Let that blessing settle over you now and rest in it, warm and safe and held, as we prepare to let the warmth widen. Let us rest here for a moment. Rest a hand over your heart if you like, and let the first warm wish of loving kindness fall over you. May you be well, may you be at ease, may you be held in kindness tonight. Let the tired, guarded heart soften under that warmth, the way the frightened forest softened when the monks filled it with goodwill. There is nothing to fix tonight, and nothing to earn, only warmth to allow and kindness to receive softly as it falls over the tired heart. When you are ready, we will go on together. The Buddha gave the monks loving kindness to transform their frightened forest, and they began, as we begin, by opening the heart. But there is a question that troubles many of us when we first turn toward this practice, and it is this: how can I offer warmth to others or to all beings when my own heart is so tired, so empty, so guarded? And the answer the tradition gives is tender and clear. You begin with yourself. So let us turn now to the first and most important object of loving kindness, the one so often left out: you. For here is something that surprises many people when they first learn this practice, that loving kindness begins not with others, but with oneself. We might expect a teaching on kindness to ask us to give, to sacrifice, to pour ourselves out for others. But the practice of metta begins the other way around. It begins by turning warmth toward ourselves first, by wishing our own hearts well, by including ourselves, first of all, in the circle of our own kindness. For a heart that has no kindness for itself has little warmth to give, and a cup that is empty cannot fill another cup. And so, before we send loving kindness out to the world, we let it fill us first gently, until the tired heart is warm enough to overflow. This can be the hardest part of all for many of us. We find it easy, or at least possible, to wish others well, to be gentle with a friend, to forgive a stranger. But to turn that same warmth toward ourselves, to say to our own tired hearts, may you be well, may you be happy, may you be at ease, and to mean it, this can feel strange, even undeserved. We are so used to being hard on ourselves, to demanding, to criticizing, to withholding from ourselves the very kindness we give so freely to others. And so the first and most healing movement of loving kindness is simply this: to stop and turn toward your own heart and offer it, at last, the warmth you have so long withheld. Let us explore a story about this. There was a woman who kept an inn at a crossroads, and she was known far and wide for her kindness. Every traveller who came to her door was met with warmth. She fed the hungry, comforted the weary, sat with the lonely, tended the sick, and turned no one away. Her heart was wide, and her kindness seemed to have no bottom, and all who passed through her inn left warmer than they came. But there was one person she never showed this kindness to. One guest she left cold and hungry and untended, night after night, year after year, and that person was herself. She gave all her warmth to others and kept none for herself. She worked herself to exhaustion, spoke to herself harshly, denied herself rest and comfort and gentleness, and while every traveller was fed and warmed at her table, she herself went hungry for the very kindness she poured out so freely on everyone else. And over the years this took its toll. Though she never stopped being kind to others, her own heart grew tired and thin and worn, like a well drawn from too often and never refilled. Her kindness to others began to come from a place of depletion, of emptiness, and though she never showed it, she was beneath her warmth, deeply weary and deeply sad, and starving for the tenderness she gave to all but herself. One evening, an old traveller came to her inn, a woman who had walked many roads and seen many hearts, and she watched the innkeeper tend to everyone with such warmth and such exhaustion, and she saw beneath it the starving heart. And before she left, the old traveller took the innkeeper's hands and said gently, "You have fed everyone who has ever come to your door, but tell me, when did you last feed yourself? When did you last speak to your own heart the way you speak to your weariest guest? When did you last say to yourself, 'Come, rest, you are welcome here, you are worthy of care'?" The innkeeper had no answer, for she could not remember ever once turning that warmth toward herself. And the old traveller said, "You cannot pour forever from a cup you never fill. Your kindness to others is beautiful, but it will run dry, and your own heart will break if you do not learn to include yourself in it. You are as worthy of your kindness as any traveller who has ever come to your door. Feed yourself too. Warm yourself too. Say to your own tired heart, 'At last, may you be well, may you be at ease, may you be cared for you deserve it as much as anyone.'" And something broke open in the innkeeper then, some old wall that had kept her own kindness out, and for the first time in her life, she turned that warmth toward herself and let herself be cared for, even by her own hand, and felt the starving heart begin at last to be fed. Let us stay with the innkeeper a moment, learning at last to feed her own heart, for she had discovered what the practice of loving kindness knows deeply, that we must include ourselves in the circle of our own warmth, that a heart which gives endlessly to others but never to itself will run dry, that we are as worthy of our own kindness as anyone who has ever come to our door. She had spent a lifetime pouring out warmth and keeping none, and her own heart had grown tired and thin for it, and the old traveller had given her the missing piece, to turn the warmth homeward, to feed herself too, to say to her own heart the tender words she had said to everyone else. And perhaps you are a little like the innkeeper. Perhaps you too are kind to others and hard on yourself, warm to the world and cold to your own heart, generous with everyone but the one who needs it most. Perhaps you too have gone hungry for the very kindness you give so freely away. And so tonight, the practice is not to give, but to receive, not to pour out, but to be filled, to turn at last toward your own tired heart and to offer it the warmth you have so long withheld. You are worthy of your own kindness. You are as deserving of tenderness as anyone alive. And tonight, you may feed the starving heart at last with a simple, warm wish that you have given to everyone but yourself. So let us feed the tired heart now, gently and without hurry, with a simple warmth of loving kindness turned at last homeward. Rest in the simple wish, offered to yourself and meant, may I be well, may I be happy, may I be at ease, may I be held and cared for and at peace. Say it softly, inwardly, to your own heart, the way you would say it to someone you love, and let it land, let it be received, let it feed the place in you that has gone so long unfed. You do not have to earn this. You do not have to deserve it by being good enough or doing enough. You have only to receive it now, to let the warmth in, to let yourself, at last, and without condition, be included in your own kindness. May I be well, may I be at ease. Let the words fall over you like warmth, and let the starving heart be fed and rest at last in the tenderness you have so long withheld from yourself. It helps to understand why turning kindness toward ourselves can be so surprisingly hard, for in seeing this clearly, the difficulty loosens. For most of us, the habit of self-criticism runs deep, learned long ago, and it has convinced us that harshness toward ourselves is somehow necessary, that if we were kind to ourselves we would grow lazy or selfish or careless, and so we drive ourselves, criticize ourselves, withhold from ourselves the gentleness we believe we have not earned. But this is a deep misunderstanding. Harshness does not make us better. It only makes us tired and frightened and small. It is warmth that helps a heart grow, warmth that gives us the strength to be truly good, warmth that heals. The child raised with kindness does not grow careless. They grow secure and brave and able to love. And the same is true of the child that still lives within you. It is not your harshness that will help it grow, but your warmth, your tenderness, your loving kindness, offered at last to the one who has waited so long to receive it. And there is nothing selfish in this. We sometimes fear that to be kind to ourselves is to be self-centered, to take something away from others. But it is the opposite. The kindest people, the ones with the most warmth to give, are almost always those who have learned to be gentle with themselves, for their kindness flows from a full heart rather than an empty one. The innkeeper who learns to feed herself does not become less generous to her travelers. She becomes more so, for now her giving comes from fullness rather than depletion, from warmth rather than exhaustion. To fill your own cup is not to deny others. It is to become able, at last, to give them something real. So in warming your own heart tonight, you are not turning away from the world. You are becoming, in the deepest way, more able to love it. So let us practice this self-kindness now, slowly and deeply, letting the warm wishes fall over your own heart, one after another, and letting each one be truly received. Begin with the simplest. May I be well. Say it inwardly to your own heart, and let it land. Let it be received. Let it be meant. May I be well. And then, may I be safe. Safe here, in this bed, in this dark, held and protected through the night. May I be safe. And then, may I be happy. Not perfectly, not falsely, but truly, gently. May some real happiness find its way to me. May I be happy. And then, may I be at ease. May the tension release. May the bracing soften. May I rest, at last, at ease in my own heart, at ease in this present moment, at ease in the gentle dark. May I be at ease. Let those 4 wishes fall over you again and again, like warm rain on dry ground. May I be well. May I be safe. May I be happy. May I be at ease. And each time you say them, let them be a little more received, a little more believed, a little more felt, until the starving heart is fed, and the guarded heart softens, and the tired heart rests at last in the warmth of its own loving kindness. You are worthy of every one of these wishes. You are worthy of wellness, of safety, of happiness, of ease. Let them in. Let yourself be loved at last by your own heart, and rest in that love softly as the wishes fall over you and carry you towards sleep. And if the wishes feel hollow at first, if you say, "May I be well," and some part of you does not quite believe it, that is all right, and it is very common. You need not force the feeling. Simply say the words gently again and again, and let them work slowly, like warm water softening hard ground. The feeling will come in time as the ground softens. For now, it is enough simply to offer the wish, to turn toward your own heart with the intention of kindness, even if the warmth is faint at first. The intention itself is the beginning, and the warmth grows from it slowly, night after night, until one day you find that you have become, at last, a friend to yourself, gentle with your own heart, warm toward your own tired life. So do not worry if the warmth is faint tonight. Only offer the wish again and again, and let it soften the ground, and trust that the warmth will come. So let us offer the wishes once more, slowly, letting them soften the ground of the heart. May I be well. May I be safe. May I be happy. May I be at ease. And now let us add one more, the tenderest of all, spoken to yourself as you would speak to a beloved, weary friend. May I be gentle with myself. May I be gentle with myself tonight and always. May I meet my own tired heart with warmth instead of demand, with kindness instead of criticism, with tenderness instead of harshness. May I be gentle with myself. Let that wish fall over you most softly of all, for it is the one the tired heart most needs to hear, and let it soften the last of the hardness, and let you rest, at last, gentle with yourself, warm toward your own heart, held in your own loving kindness, drifting toward sleep. For to become a friend to yourself is one of the great achievements of a human life, and it is the very ground on which all other kindness grows. The one who is at peace with their own heart carries that peace into every room they enter. The one who is gentle with themselves is gentle with the world. So this turning of warmth toward yourself tonight is not a small or selfish thing. It is the seed from which a whole life of kindness can grow. Plant that seed now gently with each warm wish, and let it take root in the tired heart, and trust that from it will grow, in time, a warmth wide enough to hold not only yourself but all beings. But that is for later. For now, simply be the friend your own heart has needed, and rest in that friendship, warm and gentle and kind, drifting toward sleep. So rest now, gentle with yourself at last, in the quiet friendship of your own kind heart, and let that gentleness carry you toward sleep. Let us rest here for a moment. If you have been kind to everyone but yourself, you might turn that warmth homeward now, at last, and offer your own tired heart the very tenderness it has so long longed for. May I be well. May I be safe. May I be at ease. May I be cared for. You are as worthy of your kindness as anyone who has ever lived. Let yourself be fed at last, and gently held, and rest in the warmth of your own loving kindness. When you are ready, we will go on together. we have begun to turn loving kindness toward ourselves to feed the heart that has gone so long unfed. But the Buddha, in the Metta Sutta, gave us a picture of just how deep and boundless this kindness can be, and it is the most tender image in all the teaching. So let us turn now to that image of a mother and her only child. For in the Metta Sutta, when the Buddha wished to show how vast and how tender loving kindness can be, he reached for the deepest love a human heart knows, the love of a mother for her child. He said, in words that have moved hearts for more than 2,000 years, that just as a mother would protect her only child, even with her own life, so should we cultivate a boundless heart toward all beings. It is one of the most beautiful and best loved similes in all the tradition, and it holds within it, in a single image, the whole tenderness of loving kindness. For think of how a mother loves her only child, without condition, without limit, with a warmth that would give anything, protect against anything, hold the child through anything. It is not a love that must be earned. It is not a love that keeps score. It is simply a boundless, protective, unconditional tenderness. And this, the Buddha said, is the quality of heart we are cultivating. A boundless tenderness, first for ourselves, and then widening for all beings. Let us sit with this image gently, for it is the heart of tonight's warmth. A mother holding her sleeping child in the dark. The child does not have to do anything to earn this love. The child does not have to be good or successful or worthy. The child is loved simply for being, simply for existing, simply for drawing breath, simply because it is hers to love and always will be. The mother watches over the sleeping child with a tenderness that asks nothing and gives everything, that would keep the child safe and warm and held through any darkness. And this boundless, unconditional, protective warmth is exactly the warmth the Buddha asks us to cultivate, and exactly the warmth we may receive tonight into our own tired hearts. Let us explore a story about this. There was a mother whose child had been ill, and who sat by the child's bed through a long night, watching over the small sleeping form. The child had a fever, and the mother could do little but be there. But she stayed, hour after hour, through the whole dark night, keeping watch. And as she sat there, she was not thinking of what the child had done, or would do, or should do. She was not weighing the child's worth, or keeping account of the child's failings, or wishing the child were different. She was simply loving the child, wholly and completely, exactly as the child was, with a tenderness that filled the whole dark room. She would have given anything, borne anything to keep the child safe and warm. She watched the small chest rise and fall with each breath, and each breath was precious to her beyond all measure, simply because it was the child's, simply because the child was hers to love. And in that long night of watching, there was no condition on her love, no limit to it, no bottom to it. There was only the boundless, aching, protective tenderness of a mother for her sleeping child. Let us stay with the mother a moment, keeping her long watch, her heart full of boundless tenderness for the sleeping child. For here is the tenderness the Buddha points to, the quality of loving kindness at its fullest, a warmth without condition, without limit, without account, that loves the beloved simply for being, and would keep it safe and warm and held through any darkness. And here is the astonishing thing the teaching asks of us and offers to us, that we may cultivate this very tenderness, this boundless mother's love, and turn it in two directions at once, outward toward all beings, holding the whole of the world with a mother's protective warmth, and inward toward ourselves, toward our own tired hearts, holding ourselves at last with the very tenderness a mother holds her sleeping child. For this is perhaps the most healing thing of all, to receive into your own heart the boundless tenderness of a mother's love. So many of us go through our lives never quite feeling held this way, never quite feeling loved simply for being, without condition, without having to earn it. And the practice of loving kindness offers us exactly this, to become for our own tired hearts the mother keeping watch, to hold ourselves with that boundless, unconditional tenderness, to love ourselves simply for being, simply for existing, simply because we are ours to love. You do not have to earn this warmth. You do not have to be good enough, or worthy enough, or successful enough. Like the sleeping child, you are worthy of boundless tenderness, simply because you are, simply because you exist, simply because your breath, rising and falling in the dark, is precious beyond all measure. So let us receive that mother's tenderness now into our own hearts tonight. Imagine yourself held the way that mother held her sleeping child, watched over with boundless warmth, kept safe through the dark, loved simply for being, without condition, without account. Let yourself be the beloved child tonight, held in a tenderness that asks nothing and gives everything. Feel yourself watched over, kept safe, held warm through this whole dark night by a love as boundless as a mother's, a love that would keep you safe through anything, a love that treasures each breath you take simply because it is yours. You are held tonight. You are watched over through the whole of the dark. You are loved boundlessly and without condition, simply for being alive. And you may rest in that boundless tenderness the way a sleeping child rests in its mother's arms, wholly safe, wholly held, wholly at peace, needing to do nothing, needing to earn nothing, only to be and to be loved and to rest. And as you rest in that tenderness, let it soften you completely, the way a child softens in loving arms. Let the guarded heart, which has held itself so hard for so long, finally let go, finally be held, finally rest in the boundless warmth it has always longed for. There is nothing you must do to deserve this. There is nothing you must be. You are held simply as you are, in a tenderness without condition or limit, and you may let yourself sink into it completely and be the beloved child, safe in the arms of love, drifting gently towards sleep. It is worth noticing that the Buddha did not choose this image lightly, for of all the loves a human being knows, the love of a mother for her only child is perhaps the one that comes closest to the boundless, unconditional warmth that Metta aspires to. It is a love that does not depend on the child being good or successful or grateful. It simply loves. It is a love that would sacrifice anything, endure anything for the child's well-being. It is a love without calculation, without limit, without end. And by pointing to this love, the Buddha was showing us not only the quality of loving kindness, but its possibility that such boundless warmth is not beyond us, that we already know it, that it lives, at least in seed, in every human heart. We have all, at some time, felt something of this boundless tenderness, whether toward a child, a beloved, an animal, a friend in need. And the practice is simply to take that warmth we already know and to widen it gently without limit until it holds the whole world and ourselves within it. And notice too that a mother's love is perhaps most tender when the child is asleep. For when the child sleeps, all its striving is set down, all its defenses, all its efforts to be good or to please. There is only the small sleeping form, breathing softly, utterly vulnerable, utterly precious. And the mother's heart, watching the sleeping child, is filled with a tenderness almost too great to bear, a tenderness for the sheer fragile miracle of this sleeping life. And you, tonight, are such a sleeping child, or soon will be. All your strivings set down, all your defenses softening, only your own small sleeping form, breathing softly in the dark, utterly precious simply for being alive. And you may let yourself be held in exactly that tenderness, the tenderness that watches over a sleeping child, the tenderness that treasures each soft breath, the tenderness that asks nothing and gives everything, simply because you are, simply because you are here, simply because your sleeping life is precious beyond all measure. So let us rest now, fully held in that boundless tenderness, and let it carry us into sleep. Feel yourself watched over as a mother watches over her sleeping child through this whole dark night. Feel each breath treasured, each soft rise and fall of your chest precious to the boundless warmth that holds you. You do not have to do anything. You do not have to be anything. You have only to sleep and to be loved as you sleep, held safe and warm through the dark, watched over by a tenderness without limit or end. Let every part of you soften into that holding, the way a sleeping child softens completely into loving arms, heavy, trusting, utterly at rest. There is nowhere you must go and nothing you must do. You are held. You are watched over. You are treasured simply for being. And you may sink now into the boundless tenderness that holds you and rest there, safe as a sleeping child, and let it carry you gently down into sleep. And should any part of you still hold itself apart, still brace, still feel unworthy of such tenderness, let it be held too, gently, exactly as it is. The mother's love does not wait for the child to be perfect. It holds the child whole, faults and all, entirely as it is. And so, this boundless warmth holds all of you tonight, the guarded parts and the tired parts and the parts that feel unworthy, all of it gathered in, all of it held, all of it warmed, all of it loved, exactly as it is, without exception, and carried, whole and complete and treasured, down into the deep and gentle rest of sleep. There is a deep healing available here, on nights like this, for those of us who are not always held so tenderly. Not everyone knew a mother's boundless love. Not everyone was watched over as a treasured child. But the beautiful thing about this practice is that it is never too late to receive that tenderness, for you can offer it to yourself now, tonight, and it will heal the old ache of having gone without it. You can become, for your own heart, the tender mother you may or may not have had. You can watch over your own sleeping self with the boundless warmth that every heart deserves. You can give yourself now the unconditional holding you may have longed for all your life. And it is not too late, and it is not too little. It is exactly the medicine the tired heart needs, offered by the one person who can always give it, which is you. So let us offer that healing now, receiving into the oldest and most tender places the boundless warmth we may have gone without. Hold your own heart tonight, the way the most loving mother would hold her most beloved child, with warmth that asks nothing, with tenderness without limit, with a love that treasures you simply for being alive. Say to your own heart softly, you are safe now, you are held now, you are loved simply for being exactly as you are. And let those words reach the old ache, the old longing to be held and soothe it and warm it and fill it at last with the tenderness it has waited for. There is nothing you must do to deserve this. You are worthy of boundless love simply because you exist. Let it in. Let yourself be held and rest at last as the beloved child you have always been, safe in the arms of a boundless and healing tenderness, drifting gently down towards sleep. Let the whole body grow heavy now in that boundless holding, the way a sleeping child grows heavy in loving arms. Let the head be fully held. Let the shoulders release. Let the arms and hands grow soft and still. Let the whole weight of you be given over to the tenderness that holds you, so that you carry yourself nowhere, hold yourself up nowhere, but rest entirely in the boundless warmth as a sleeping child rests, trusting completely, utterly at peace. There is nothing to hold on to tonight, and nothing to guard against, for you are held wholly and safely in a love without limit, and you may let go into it completely and be carried like a treasured sleeping child down into the deep, warm dark of sleep. And in this boundless holding, there is a safety deeper than any the guarded heart could ever provide for itself. For all our bracing, all our self-protection, all our holding ourselves hard against the world has never truly made us safe. It has only made us tired. But to be held in loving kindness, to rest in a warmth without limit, is to be safe in the truest way, the way a sleeping child is safe in loving arms, not because nothing can ever go wrong, but because we are held and warmed and loved through whatever comes. So let down the long guard tonight and let yourself be safe in that deeper way, held in boundless tenderness, and rest at last in the safety of being loved. Let us rest here for a moment. Let yourself be held tonight the way a mother holds her sleeping child, watched over with boundless warmth, loved simply for being, kept safe through the dark. You do not have to earn this tenderness. You are worthy of it simply because you exist. Let the guarded heart soften at last in a love without conditional limit, and let yourself be watched over and treasured and kept warm through the whole of the dark, and rest like a beloved and sleeping child, safe and held in the boundless arms of loving kindness. When you are ready, we will go on together. We have received the boundless tenderness of a mother's love into our own hearts. And now that the heart is warm, now that it has been fed and held, its warmth begins naturally to overflow, to widen outward, first to those we hold most dear. So let us turn now gently to the ones we hold most dear, and let the warmth of loving kindness, which has filled our own hearts, begin to flow out freely to them. For once the heart has been warmed, once it has received the tenderness it needed, its warmth naturally begins to widen, to overflow, to reach outward, first of all to those we hold most dear. This is the second movement of loving kindness, and it is perhaps the easiest and the most natural of them all, to wish well the ones we already love. For the warmth is already there, alive and ready for these beloved few. We need only turn toward them in the quiet of the night and let the warm wish flow out freely to them. May you be well, may you be happy, may you be at ease, and feel how naturally, how gladly the heart offers it. Think for a moment of someone you love. It might be a child, or a parent, a partner, or a dear old friend, someone whose face brings warmth to your heart simply to picture them. Bring them gently to mind now, just for a moment, and notice the warmth that arises all on its own, just at the thought of them, the natural tenderness, the wish for their happiness that lives in you without any effort at all. This warmth is loving kindness in its most familiar form, the love we already carry for those dear to us. And the practice tonight is simply to rest in this warmth, to let it fill and soften the heart, and to offer gently to those we love the same warm wishes we have offered ourselves. Let us explore a story about this. There was an old man who had lived a long life and who, in his later years, developed a quiet evening practice. Each night, before he slept, he would sit in his chair by the window and he would bring to mind one by one the people he loved. He would picture each face and hold it warmly for a moment and offer it a simple wish. May you be well, may you be happy, may you be at peace. He would think of his children, grown now and scattered far, and wish each of them well. He would think of his old friends, some near, some passed away, and hold each in warmth. He would think of his neighbours, the young family down the lane, the widow across the way, and wish them peace. And as he sat there each night, holding his beloved ones in the warmth of his heart, one by one, an extraordinary peace would come over him, a warmth that filled the whole quiet room, so that he would rise from his chair each night not tired, but warmed, not empty, but full, and go to his bed with a heart at peace. A young person once asked him the secret of his evident contentment, for he seemed, in his old age, one of the most peaceful people they had ever met, and he told them of his evening practice, of sitting by the window and holding his loved ones in warmth. It is the simplest thing, he said, but it has filled my old age with peace. For when I hold the ones I love in my heart and wish them well, my own heart fills with warmth, and I am reminded each night of how much love there is in my life, how many faces I carry warmly, how rich the heart becomes simply in the wishing of others well. I do not need them to be near. I do not need anything from them. I need only to hold them in warmth and to wish them well, and my own heart is filled by the wishing. This warmth, he said, costs nothing at all and gives everything, and it has made my nights and my old age into a time of the quietest joy I have ever known, richer by far than anything I chased when I was young. Let us stay with the old man a moment, sitting by his window, holding his beloved ones in warmth, his heart filling with peace. For he had discovered the quiet joy of loving kindness turned toward those we love, that in holding them warmly, in wishing them well, our own hearts are filled, that this warmth costs nothing and gives everything, that the simple practice of bringing our loved ones to mind and wishing them peace is a well of contentment that never runs dry. He needed nothing from those he loved. He needed only to love them, to hold them warmly, to wish them well, and in that wishing his own heart was made full and peaceful. And you carry such beloved ones too in your own heart, faces that bring warmth simply to picture. And tonight you may do as the old man did. Bring them gently to mind one by one, and hold each in warmth, and offer each the simple wish you have offered yourself. May you be well, may you be happy, may you be at ease, and feel how, in wishing them well, your own heart fills with warmth, how the love you carry for them warms you in the very act of offering it, how the heart grows full and peaceful simply in the holding of those it loves. There is no effort in this and no cost. There is only the natural overflow of a warmed heart, reaching out to those it holds dear and being filled itself by the reaching. So let us hold our beloved ones in warmth now, gently one by one, and let the heart fill with the peace of loving them. Bring someone you love to mind and picture their face and hold it warmly and offer them from your heart the tender wish. May you be well. May you be happy. May you be safe and at ease. And let the warmth of that wish fill you as you offer it. And then, if you like, bring another beloved face to mind and hold it too in warmth and wish it well. And another. Let the beloved faces come one by one, each held in warmth, each offered peace, and let your heart fill with each one a little fuller, a little warmer, a little more at peace, until you rest in the quiet joy of all the love you carry, all the faces you hold dear, all the warmth that fills the heart simply in the wishing of others well. It is worth noticing what a gift it is, this capacity to hold those we love in warmth, needing nothing from them in return. So much of our ordinary love is tangled with need. We love, but we also want, we cling, we fear losing. We ask the beloved to make us happy, to meet our needs, to be a certain way. And this tangled love, though real, is often anxious and possessive and troubled. But the loving kindness we practice tonight is a purer thing, a warmth that simply wishes the beloved well, that asks nothing of them, that clings to nothing, that wants only their happiness for its own sake. It is love with the anxiety taken out, love with the clinging released, love that is only warmth and only goodwill. And to love this way, even for a few quiet minutes at night, is deeply restful, for it is love without the fear, without the need, without the grasping. It is simply the warm wish that those we love be well, offered freely, holding nothing, asking nothing. And there is a particular tenderness in offering this warmth to our loved ones at night, when they too are likely sleeping, or soon will be. For as you hold them in your heart and wish them well, picture them too, resting, their own defenses down, their own strivings set aside, their own tired hearts at rest, and wish them especially a good and gentle sleep. May you rest well tonight. May your worries release. May you sleep deeply and wake gently. There is something very sweet in this, in lying in your own bed and sending warmth to the sleeping ones you love, wishing them, as you wish yourself, a night of deep and peaceful rest, all of you, the whole beloved circle, resting together under the same dark sky, held in the same warm wish. So let us hold our loved ones in that pure and restful warmth now, wishing them especially a gentle sleep. Bring to mind again someone dear to you, and picture them at rest, and offer them the tender wish. May you rest well tonight. May you be at peace. May you sleep deeply, held and safe. And let the warmth of that wish fill you as you offer it, the pure warmth of love without need, without fear, without grasping, only the simple wish that the beloved rest well. And bring another beloved one to mind, and wish them too a gentle sleep, and another. Let the whole beloved circle be held one by one, each wished a night of peaceful rest, until you rest among them, warm and full, one sleeping heart among all the sleeping hearts you love, all of you held together in the same warm wish, all of you drifting together towards sleep. And feel how, in wishing them rest, you settle more deeply into your own, for the warmth you send flows through you first, and the peace you wish them fills you as you wish it, so that in sending your loved ones toward gentle sleep, you find yourself carried gently toward it too, the whole circle of love settling together into the deep, warm dark of rest. And there is a quiet reassurance in this practice for the nights when we are apart from those we love, or worried for them, or grieving those we can no longer hold. For the warmth of loving kindness reaches across any distance. It needs no nearness, no presence, not even in a sense that the beloved still be living. You can hold in warmth the loved one who is far away and wish them well across all the miles, and the warmth is real, and it fills your heart as surely as if they were beside you. You can hold in warmth the loved one you have lost and wish them peace, and feel the love still living in you, warm and unbroken, though they are gone. Love, offered as loving kindness, is not bound by distance or by absence or even by death. It is a warmth in your own heart, offered freely, reaching wherever it is sent, and it can hold the near and the far, the present and the absent, the living and the lost, all in the same boundless tenderness. So if there is someone you love who is far from you tonight, or someone you have lost, you might hold them too in the warmth of your heart and wish them well across the distance or across the great silence, and feel the love still living and warm in you, unbroken by any separation. May you be well wherever you are. May you be at peace. May the love between us remain warm and unbroken across all distance and all time. And feel how the warmth reaches out across the miles, across the silence, holding the beloved wherever they are, and filling your own heart with a love that no distance can diminish, a tenderness that no absence can break, and rest in that warmth, that unbroken love that reaches wherever it is sent and fills the heart in the sending. Let the whole beloved circle be gathered now in that boundless warmth, the near and the far, the present and the absent, all held together in the same tender wish. All wish the same gentle peace, and let the heart rest, full and warm, in the great gathering of all the love it carries, and let that fullness carry you softly towards sleep. And notice how holding others in loving kindness gently pulls us out of our own small worries. So much of what keeps us awake is a kind of turning inward, a churning over our own concerns, our own fears, our own tired thoughts. But when we turn the heart outward, toward those we love, wishing them well, the small anxious self loosens its grip, and we are drawn out of our own churning and into the warmth of caring for another. There is great relief in this, in setting down, for a while, the endless concern with ourselves and resting instead in warmth for those we love. It is one of the gentlest ways out of the anxious mind, not to fight our own worries, but simply to turn toward another in warmth and find in the turning that our own small troubles have quietly loosened their hold. So let us rest a while longer in warmth for those we love, letting it draw us gently out of ourselves and into the peace of caring. Hold each beloved face one by one in the warm light of your goodwill, and wish each one well, and let the wishing carry you away from your own small concerns and into the wide, warm ease of love freely given. There is nothing to solve here, and nothing to fear, only faces to hold in warmth, only well wishes to offer, only the quiet joy of a heart full of love, drawing you gently out of yourself and towards sleep. And as each beloved one settles in your heart, wished well and held in warmth, feel your own heart grow fuller and warmer and more at peace, until you rest at the center of a wide circle of all the ones you love, each held gently in the light of your goodwill. Each wished a deep and gentle rest, and you among them, warmed by your own loving, drifting softly down into sleep at the heart of all that warmth. Let us rest here for a moment, in the warmth of the ones we love. Bring someone dear gently to mind and hold their face in warmth and offer them the tender wish. May you be well, may you be happy, may you be at ease. And feel how, in wishing them well, your own heart fills with warmth and peace. Let the beloved faces come one by one, each held in kindness, and rest in the quiet joy of all the love you carry. When you are ready, we will go on together. We have let the warmth flow out to those we love and felt the heart fill in the wishing. But the Buddha's teaching of loving kindness asks us to widen the circle further still, beyond the few we already love, to the countless faces we pass and barely see. So let us turn now, gently, to the stranger's face, and let the warmth widen to include them too. For here the practice of loving kindness begins to stretch us, gently, beyond the warm and familiar circle of those we already love, out, now, toward all the countless others who fill the wide world, the strangers we pass, the faces we barely see, the multitude of people who are neither dear to us nor difficult, but simply there going about their lives alongside us, each one a whole world unto themselves, each one a heart like ours. The Metta Sutta wishes well not only the beloved few, but all beings everywhere, and so the practice asks us to widen our warmth to include even those we do not know, even the stranger, even the face in the crowd. This might seem strange at first, or even impossible. How can we feel warmth for someone we do not know, a face we have barely glimpsed? But the teaching is gentle here. It does not ask us to manufacture some great feeling for every stranger. It asks only that we remember something true and let that truth soften us, that every stranger, every single face we pass, is a whole heart like our own, carrying its own joys and its own sorrows, its own weariness, its own quiet longing to be happy and to be at ease, its own quiet story we will never know. And when we truly remember this, when we truly see the stranger as a whole feeling heart like our own, a natural warmth arises, a gentle goodwill, a wish that they too be well. Let us explore a story about this. There was a woman who rode each day upon a crowded train to her work, surrounded by strangers, and for many years she barely saw them. They were, to her, simply obstacles, a press of anonymous bodies between her and her destination, and she moved through them each day without a thought, without a glance, without any sense of them as real. But one morning, she read a small line somewhere that stayed with her, a line about how every person we meet is fighting a hard battle we know nothing of. And that morning, on the crowded train, she found herself, for the first time, actually looking at the strangers around her, and she began to wonder about them. That tired man by the door, what was he carrying? What worry had kept him up last night? That young woman with the anxious face, what was she afraid of? That old man, what losses had he known? What joys? What long story had brought him to this train on this morning? And as she looked and wondered, something shifted in her. The anonymous press of bodies became suddenly a train full of whole human hearts, each one carrying a life as full and real and tender as her own, each one longing as she longed to be happy, to be at ease, to be spared from suffering. And a warmth arose in her, unbidden, a gentle goodwill toward all these strangers who were, she saw now, not strangers at all, but fellow hearts, fellow travelers, fellow beings, each as real and as worthy of kindness as she was herself. And from that day, her crowded train became a different place. Where before there had been only anonymous obstacles, now there were human hearts, and she rode among them each day with a quiet warmth, silently wishing them well. May you be well. May your battle be gentle today. May you find some ease. And though not one of them ever knew it, her own heart was warmed and softened by the wishing, and the daily ride that had been a burden became a quiet practice of loving kindness, a widening of her warmth to hold the whole human family she rode among. Let us stay with the woman a moment, riding among the strangers who are strangers no longer, her heart warm with goodwill for them all. For she had discovered the truth that opens the heart to all beings, that there are no strangers really, only hearts we have not yet recognized as being like our own. Every face she passed was a whole human life, as real and as tender and as longing for happiness as she was herself. And when she truly saw this, the warmth came naturally, and the anonymous crowd became a family of feeling hearts, each worthy of her kindness. She did not have to force a feeling. She had only to remember the truth that every stranger is a heart like hers, and the warmth arose on its own. And you pass such strangers too, every day, countless faces you barely see, each one a whole human heart, carrying its own hard battle, longing as you long to be well. And tonight, you might widen your warmth to hold them too, not by forcing some great feeling, but simply by remembering the truth that every one of them is a heart like yours, real and tender and longing for happiness, worthy of kindness simply for being a fellow being, a fellow traveler, a fellow heart. Bring to mind, if you like, some stranger you passed today, some face you barely noticed, and remember that they too are a whole life, and offer them gently the same wish you have offered yourself and those you love. May you be well. May your battle be gentle. May you find some ease, and feel how the heart widens in the offering, how the circle of your warmth grows to hold not only the beloved few, but the countless others, the whole human family, all of us fellow hearts, all of us longing for the same peace. So let us widen the warmth now, gently, to hold the strangers too. Bring to mind the faces you pass and barely see, the people on the street, in the shops, on the roads, the countless others going about their lives alongside you. And remember that every one of them is a heart like yours, longing to be happy, longing to be at ease, carrying their own quiet burdens through their own long days. And offer them all, gently, the warm wish of your heart. May you all be well. May you all be at ease. May all of you, whom I will never know, find some happiness, some peace, some gentleness in your lives, and feel the heart widen as you offer it, growing warm and open and vast enough to hold the whole human family, all the countless faces, all the fellow hearts, all held now in the widening warmth of your loving kindness, and rest in that spacious warmth, that wide and gentle goodwill that holds the whole world softly and wishes it well. There is a profound truth hidden in this widening of the heart, which is that our sense of who is a stranger and who is one of us is far more arbitrary than we think. We draw a small circle around the few we love and call them ours, and everyone outside that circle a stranger, but the line is not a real one. It is only a habit of the heart, a limit of our attention. The stranger on the train, the face in the crowd, is no less a whole and feeling being than our dearest friend. We simply have not turned our attention toward them, have not let ourselves see them, and the practice of loving kindness is, in part, simply the widening of that small circle, the gentle erasing of the arbitrary line between us and them, until we see that there is no them really, only a vast us, a whole human family of feeling hearts, each as real and as worthy of warmth as any other, ourselves included. And when the circle widens this way, something in us relaxes that we did not even know was tense. For to divide the world into us and them, friend and stranger, is itself a kind of guarding, a subtle wariness toward all those outside our small circle. And when that guarding softens, when the stranger becomes simply another heart like ours, the world becomes a gentler place, a place of kin rather than strangers, of fellow hearts rather than anonymous crowds, and we move through it and rest in it with less wariness and more warmth. So the widening of the heart is not only a gift to the strangers we wish well, it is a softening of our own relationship to the whole world, a laying down of an old subtle wariness, a coming to rest in a world full not of strangers, but of kin. So let us widen the circle now gently, further and further, until it holds not only the strangers we pass today, but all beings everywhere. Let the warmth spread outward from your heart, first to this room, then to this house, then to the street outside, holding all who sleep or wake nearby, and wider to the whole town or city around you, all the countless people in all the countless rooms, each a heart like yours, each longing for peace. May you all be well. And wider still to the whole land, the whole country, all its people, near and far, known and unknown, each a whole life, each worthy of warmth. May you all be at ease. And wider still to the whole world, all its lands and peoples, all the countless hearts across the whole wide earth, all of them longing as you long to be happy and free from suffering. May all beings everywhere be well. May all beings everywhere be at ease. May all beings everywhere be held tonight in kindness. And feel how vast the heart becomes as it widens this way, how it grows to hold the whole world softly, how spacious and warm and open it becomes when the small circle is erased and the whole human family gathered in. There is such peace in this vastness, the peace of a heart that has stopped guarding, stopped dividing, and simply holds it all in warmth. Rest there now in that vast and gentle warmth, holding the whole sleeping world in loving kindness, one small warm heart among countless warm hearts, all held together in a boundless goodwill, and let that vastness carry you softly towards sleep. There is a beautiful phrase in the tradition for this boundless warmth, the immeasurable heart, or the boundless heart. For loving kindness, fully cultivated, knows no measure and no boundary. It does not stop at the edge of our small circle, but widens without limit until it holds all beings everywhere, without exception, in the same warm goodwill. This is what the Buddha meant when he spoke of cultivating a boundless heart toward all beings, radiating loving kindness above, below, and all around, without limit, without hatred, without enmity. It is a heart grown as wide as the world, holding everything in warmth, excluding nothing and no one. A heart that has become in a sense as boundless as the sky, holding all beings the way the sky holds all the clouds and birds and weather, without limit, without partiality, with a warmth wide enough for all. And there is deep rest in becoming, even for a few quiet minutes, such a boundless heart. For the small, guarded heart, the heart that holds only its own concerns, its own small circle, is a tight and anxious thing, and it is tiring to maintain its walls. But the boundless heart, the heart that has opened without limit to hold all beings in warmth, is spacious and easeful and free. It has laid down the tiring work of guarding its small borders and rests, instead, in a warmth as wide as the world. So to widen the heart tonight is not a labor, but a release, a laying down of the small self's tight walls, an opening into a vast and restful warmth that holds everything and excludes nothing. Rest there now, in that boundless heart, that immeasurable warmth, as wide as the sky, holding all beings gently, and feel how spacious and easeful and free it is to love without limit, and let that boundless ease carry you towards sleep. And as you rest in that vast warmth, let it hold too all the beings you cannot see, not only the people, but the animals, the creatures of the forests and fields and seas, all the countless living things that share this world with us, each one in its own way, seeking happiness, avoiding suffering, wishing to live. May all beings be well. May all creatures, great and small, be at ease. May everything that lives and breathes and feels, the whole great family of living things, be held tonight, gently, in kindness, and spared from suffering, and wished well. Let the warmth widen to hold them all, the whole living world, every breathing thing, all gathered into the same boundless tenderness, and rest there, holding the whole of life softly in a heart grown as wide as the world. And you might end this widening by returning the warmth at last to include yourself within the boundless circle. For the Buddha's boundless heart holds all beings without exception, and you are one of those beings, as worthy of your own loving kindness as any other. So having widened the heart to hold the whole world, let it circle back gently to hold you too, one heart among all the hearts, one being among all the beings, equally worthy of the warmth. May all beings be well, and may I be well among them. May all beings be at ease, and may I be at ease among them. And rest there, held within your own boundless goodwill, one small warm heart within the vast warm heart that holds the whole world, belonging to it, included in it, at peace within it, and let that belonging carry you towards sleep. Let us rest here for a moment. Bring to mind the strangers you pass and barely see, and remember that each is a whole human heart, longing, as you long, to be well. Offer them gently the warm wish. May you all be well, may you all be at ease, and feel the heart widen to hold the whole human family, all fellow hearts, all worthy of kindness. Rest in that wide and gentle goodwill, holding the whole human family in kindness. When you are ready, we will go on together. We have widened our warmth to hold even the strangers, the countless fellow hearts we pass and barely see. But there remains one circle harder to include than all the rest, the one the Buddha's teaching asks of us last and most gently. The difficult one, the one who has hurt us, the one it is hardest to wish well. So let us turn now with great gentleness to the difficult heart. For here we come to the hardest and in some ways the most freeing movement of loving kindness, the turning of warmth toward the difficult one, the person who has hurt us, the one we find it hardest to wish well. The Metta Sutta wishes well all beings without exception, and that without exception is a demanding phrase, for it includes even those who have wronged us, even the ones we would rather not think of at all. And yet the tradition is very gentle here and wise, for it knows that this is the hardest circle of all to open, and it does not demand that we force it. It asks only that we begin gently to loosen the hardness we carry toward the difficult one, and in doing so, to free, most of all, our own hearts. For here is the deep truth at the center of this practice, that the hardness we carry toward another, the resentment, the ill will, the closed and guarded place in the heart where we hold someone who has hurt us, that hardness lives in us and burdens us and troubles our own rest. The one we resent may be far away, may be long gone, may never think of us at all, and yet we carry the hardness toward them within our own hearts, night after night, and it is we who are troubled by it, we who cannot rest for it, we who are hardened by it. And so to soften that hardness, to begin even a little, to wish even the difficult one well, is not really a gift to them at all. It is a freeing of our own hearts, a laying down of a burden we have carried too long, a softening of a hardness that has troubled only us. Let us explore a story about this. There was a man who carried for many years a hardness in his heart towards someone who had wronged him long ago. The wrong had been real, and the hurt had been deep, and though the years had passed and the other person had gone from his life entirely, the man still carried the resentment, still felt the heart close and harden whenever he thought of them, still lay awake some nights with the old anger churning in him. He held the hardness as a kind of justice, a refusal to let the wrong be forgotten. But it troubled his rest, and it hardened his heart, and it followed him year after year, a small cold stone he carried always in his chest. At last, he spoke of it to an old teacher, expecting perhaps to be told he was right to hold his ground. But the old teacher only asked him a gentle question. This hardness you carry toward the one who wronged you, where does it live? The man was puzzled. It lives in me, he said, in my chest, in my heart. And the one you resent, asked the teacher, does the hardness live in them? Does it trouble their rest? The man thought. No, he admitted. They are gone. They likely never think of it at all. Then, said the teacher gently, you are carrying in your own heart a hardness that troubles only you. The other is free of it. Only you are burdened by it. Your resentment is not a stone you throw at them. It is a stone you carry in your own chest, and it weighs down only you. And I do not ask you to excuse what they did, or to say it did not matter. I ask only this. Would you like to set the stone down? Not for their sake, but for your own. Would you like to soften at last the hardness that has burdened only you? For you can wish them well, not because they deserve it, but because in wishing them well, you set down the stone and free your own heart and are able at last to rest. And the man saw slowly that this was true, that his hardness had burdened only himself, that in holding it, he had been the one imprisoned. And gently, not all at once, he began to soften it, to loosen the old resentment, to wish, however faintly at first, even the difficult one some measure of peace. May you too be well. May you too find ease, not for their sake, but to set down his own stone, to free his own heart. And as he did, the cold stone in his chest began at last to warm and to dissolve, and a heart that had been hardened for years began at last to soften and to rest. Let us stay with the man a moment, his old stone beginning at last to dissolve, his hardened heart beginning at last to soften. For he had discovered the great freedom hidden in this hardest practice, that the hardness we carry towards another burdens only ourselves, that to soften it is to free our own hearts, that we may wish even the difficult one well, not because they deserve it, and not to excuse them, but simply because in doing so, we lay down at last our own heavy stone. This is not about excusing the wrong, nor pretending it did not matter, nor letting anyone back into our lives. It is simply about softening gently within our own hearts, a hardness that has troubled only us, and freeing ourselves at last from a heavy weight we have carried too long. And perhaps you carry such a stone too, some old hardness towards someone who wronged you, some resentment that has troubled your own rest more than it has ever touched them. And tonight, with great gentleness, and only as far as you are able, you might begin to soften it, not for their sake, but for your own. You do not have to excuse them. You do not have to forget. You have only to loosen a little the hardness that has burdened your own heart, to wish them, however faintly, some measure of the peace you wish for yourself, and in doing so, to set down your own stone and free your own heart and rest at last unburdened. So let us soften the hardness now, gently, and only as far as feels possible. If you carry some old resentment toward a difficult one, you might bring them to mind gently and remember that they too are a heart that suffers, a being that longs, however imperfectly, to be happy, and that the hardness you carry toward them has burdened only you. And you might offer them, however faintly, only as far as you are able, some small wish for their peace. May you too find some ease. May you too be free of your suffering, which is perhaps the root of the harm you did. May you too be well, not for their sake, but to set down your own stone, to free your own heart, to release the hardness that has troubled only you, and feel how, as the hardness softens, even a little, a weight lifts from your own chest, a coldness warms, a heart long guarded begins, at last, to open and to rest. It helps to understand that the difficult one, the person who wronged us, was almost certainly acting in their own way, out of their own suffering. This does not excuse what they did, and it does not make the hurt any less real. But it is nearly always true that people who cause harm are people in pain, that cruelty comes from a wounded place, that the one who hurt you was, in their own way, suffering, frightened, or lost when they did it. Hurt people, the old saying goes, and there is deep truth in it. And when we can see, even dimly, the suffering behind the harm, the wound behind the cruelty, the frightened or broken place from which the hurt came, something in our own hardness softens, not into approval, but into understanding. And understanding is the doorway to the release of our own resentment. To see that the one who hurt us was themselves in pain is not to excuse them. It is to loosen in our own hearts the hardness that has bound us to them, and to free ourselves at last. And there is a further freedom still, which is the recognition that holding resentment is like drinking poison and hoping the other person will be harmed. The image is an old one and true. The resentment we hold poisons only ourselves. The other person feels nothing of it. Every hour we spend hardened against them, every night we lie awake with the old anger, is an hour and a night of our own poisoning, while they, most likely, rest untroubled. And so to release the resentment, to soften the hardness, to wish them, however faintly, some peace, is simply to stop drinking the poison, to stop harming ourselves in the name of a justice that never reaches them. It is the most practical of mercies, offered not to them, but to our own poisoned and weary hearts. So let us offer that mercy to ourselves now, by softening, as far as we are able, the hardness we carry. Bring the difficult one gently to mind, only as far as feels safe, and see, if you can, the suffering behind their harm, the wounded or frightened place from which it came. and offer them, however faintly, only as much as you are able, the recognition that they too suffer, they too long for peace, they too are a struggling heart. May you too be free of the suffering that made you cause harm. May you too find some peace, and as you offer it, feel not that you are giving them anything, but that you are setting down your own stone, pouring out your own poison, releasing your own heart from a hardness that has bound and burdened only you. Let the stone dissolve. Let the poison pour away. Let the old hardness soften and warm, and feel your own heart freed at last from what it has carried too long. Begin to open and lighten and rest. And if you cannot yet soften toward the difficult one, if the hurt is too fresh or too deep, that is all right, and there is no failure in it. You need not force this. You might simply return then to kindness for yourself, the one who was hurt. May I be free of this resentment when I am ready. May I be gentle with myself who was wounded. May my own heart, in its own time, be released from this weight. For even the wish to one day be free of the hardness is itself a softening, a beginning, and it is enough. Be gentle with yourself tonight, whether or not you can yet be gentle with the one who hurt you, and let that self-kindness be the mercy that frees you, and rest in it softly as far as you are able, and let the rest come in its own time. There's one more gentleness worth offering here, which is to remember that this softening is a practice, not a single act, and that it may take many nights, many returns, before the hardest stones dissolve. You need not release it all tonight. You need not forgive completely or feel warmth where there is still hurt. You need only soften a little as far as you are able, and then a little more another night, and a little more the night after, trusting the slow work of the warm heart to dissolve over time even the hardest and oldest stones. The man in the story did not release his resentment all at once. It softened slowly, gently, over time. And so may yours. Be patient with your own heart and with the slow dissolving of its old hardness, and trust that each small softening, each faint wish for the difficult one's peace, is loosening the stone a little more and freeing you a little more night by night. So let us end this hardest practice with the greatest gentleness, returning always to kindness for ourselves. Whether or not you could soften toward the difficult one tonight, you might place a warm hand in your mind over your own wounded heart, the heart that was hurt, the heart that has carried the hardness so long, and offer it the tenderness it most needs. May you be at peace, dear heart. May you be free in time of this old weight. May you be gentle with yourself, who was wounded, and be released when you are ready into the warmth you deserve. And let that self-kindness be the true medicine tonight, the warmth that heals the one who was hurt, and let the difficult one and the old hardness rest for now, as you return to the warmth of your own kind heart, and rest there softly, healing, at peace. And feel how, in returning to kindness for yourself, the whole practice comes full circle, back to where it began, with warmth for your own tired heart, for all the widening of loving kindness to loved ones, to strangers, to the difficult, returns always to this, a heart grown warm and gentle and free, at peace with itself and with the world, holding all beings and itself in the same boundless tenderness. Rest there now, in that warm and gentle heart, freed of its old hardness as far as it could be freed tonight, and let the warmth hold you and carry you softly towards sleep. Let the whole heart soften now and rest, freed as far as it could be freed tonight, warm and gentle and at peace, and let that warmth carry you towards sleep. Let us rest here for a moment. If you carry some old hardness toward a difficult one, you might soften it now, gently, only as far as you are able, not for their sake, but for your own. Offer them, however faintly, some small wish for their peace, and feel the cold stone in your own chest begin to warm and dissolve. You are not excusing the wrong. You are freeing your own heart. Let the hardness soften at last and rest, unburdened and free. When you are ready, we will go on together. We have softened as far as we were able, even the hardness toward the difficult one, and felt our own hearts freed in the softening. And now the circle of our warmth is nearly complete, ready to widen at last, to hold all beings everywhere without exception. So let us turn now, with a heart grown warm and gentle and free, to that final boundless widening, and wish all beings everywhere without exception well. For now, at last, the circle is complete, and we may open the heart without any limit at all, and let its warmth flow out freely in every direction to hold all beings everywhere. This is where the Metta Sutta rises to its fullest, its most beautiful aspiration, for it does not stop at the beloved or the stranger, or even the difficult one. It wishes well, quite simply, all beings everywhere without exception. May all beings be happy, and may all beings be secure. May all beings be at ease. These are among the very tenderest words the Buddha ever gave, and they have been recited as a blessing over the whole of the living world for more than 2,000 years, and they hold within them the whole vast reach of loving kindness, a warmth wide enough to hold every living thing, a wish for the happiness and peace of all that lives, offered freely, boundlessly to the whole of the world. The sutta speaks of radiating this loving kindness in every direction, above, below, and all around, to all beings, whether near or far, seen or unseen, born or yet to be born, to the great and the small alike, the strong and the weak, the visible and the invisible, leaving no being out, holding the whole of life in a boundless and unobstructed warmth. It is a heart grown as wide as the whole universe, boundless and unobstructed, holding all beings everywhere the way the wide open sky holds everything beneath it, without limit, without partiality, without preference, and without any edge or end at all. And this boundless, immeasurable heart is what we open toward now, letting the warmth we have cultivated all this long and gentle evening flow out, at last, without any limit at all, to hold the whole of the living world in kindness. Let's explore a story about this. There was a monk who worried that he did not have enough love to give. He looked at the teaching, at its call to love all beings without limit, and he thought, but I am only one small person with one small heart. How can I possibly have enough love for all beings everywhere? My love will surely run out, spread so thin across so many. And troubled by this, he went to his teacher and asked, how can one small heart hold love enough for all beings? Will my love not run out if I try to give it to everyone? The old teacher smiled and took up a single lamp, already lit, its small flame burning in the evening dark. And he said, watch. And he took a second lamp, unlit, and touched its wick to the flame of the first, and lit it, so that now 2 lamps burned, and then a third lit from the first, and a fourth, and a fifth, on and on, until the whole room was filled with the warm light of many lamps, all lit from the single first flame. And the teacher held up that first lamp, still burning as brightly as ever. "Tell me," he said, "has the first flame grown any dimmer for all the lamps it has lit? Has its light run out for being shared with so many?" The monk looked and saw that the first flame burned exactly as bright as before, undiminished, though it had lit 100 others. "No," he said, "it is just as bright. It has lost nothing." "Just so," said the teacher, "is loving kindness. It is not like a jar of water that empties as it is poured out. It is like a flame that loses nothing by lighting others, that can kindle 1,000,000 lamps and burn as bright as ever. Your love will not run out, however many beings you give it to. The more you share it, the more there is, for it is warmed and brightened in the very giving. So do not fear that your one small heart cannot hold love enough for all beings. The heart that gives loving kindness is not emptied by it, but filled, not dimmed, but brightened, and it may light the whole world and burn itself all the warmer for it." Let us stay with the monk a moment, watching the room fill with warm light from a single undiminished flame, for he had learned the secret that makes the boundless heart possible, that loving kindness is not a limited store that runs out as it is spent, but a flame that loses nothing in the giving, that can be shared without limit and burns all the brighter for the sharing. His one small heart could indeed hold love enough for all beings, for the love was not diminished by being given, but multiplied, warmed, brightened in the very act of offering it. And so he could open his heart without fear to all beings everywhere, knowing that his warmth would not run out, but only grow the wider he let it reach. And you need not fear either tonight that your heart is too small or your love too little to hold all beings in warmth. For your loving kindness is a flame, not a jar. It loses nothing in the giving. It can reach out without limit to hold the whole world and burn all the warmer for the reaching. So you may open your heart now without any fear of running dry, and let the warmth flow out to all beings everywhere, knowing that the more you give it, the more there is, that the flame only brightens as it kindles 1,000 others, that your one small heart is, in truth, boundless, able to hold the whole of the living world in warmth and lose nothing at all. So let us open the heart now without limit and radiate loving kindness to all beings everywhere. Let the warmth flow out in every direction, like light from a lamp filling a dark room. Send it upward to all beings above, in the high places, in the air, in the heavens. Send it downward to all beings below, in the low places, in the depths, in the earth. Send it outward in every direction, north and south, east and west, to all beings near and far, seen and unseen, known and unknown. May all beings be happy. May all beings be secure. May all beings everywhere be at ease. May all beings be free from suffering, and free from fear, and free from sorrow. May all beings be held tonight gently, in a boundless and unconditional warmth. Let the light of your loving kindness fill the whole world now, reaching every being, near and far, seen and unseen, leaving none out and no one behind, the gentle and the fierce, the happy and the suffering, the ones you know and the countless ones you never will, holding the great and the small, the near and the far, the whole of the living world, in a single boundless flame of warmth, and rest there, at the heart of that vast light, one small warm flame among countless flames, all burning together in the dark, all warming one another, all of us together holding the whole wide world in a single gentle light. There is a deep rest in this boundless heart that the small, guarded heart can never know. For the small heart, holding only its own concerns, its own few loves, its own tight circle, is always a little anxious, always a little defended, always aware of what lies outside its walls. But the boundless heart has no walls, and so it has nothing to defend. It is open to hold everything, and so it fears nothing. It has become as wide as the world, and so it rests in the world as in its own home. To love without limit is, paradoxically, to be perfectly at ease. For the heart that excludes nothing has nothing left to guard against, nothing left to keep out, nothing left to fear. It simply rests, open and warm, holding all things gently, at peace with the whole of existence. And this is one of the great gifts of loving kindness fully opened. Not only warmth for all beings, but perfect ease for oneself. The ease of a heart that has laid down all its walls and come to rest in a boundless and unguarded peace. Think of the sun, which shines on all things without partiality, warming the just and the unjust alike, the beautiful and the plain, the near and the far, holding back its light from nothing and no one. The sun does not choose where to shine. It simply shines, warming everything its light can reach, freely, boundlessly, without account. And the boundless heart is like the sun. It warms all beings alike, without choosing, without partiality, without holding back, shining its warmth freely on the whole of the living world. You may be such a sun tonight, shining warmth on all beings without exception, warming the whole world with the boundless light of your loving kindness, and, like the sun, losing nothing in the shining, but simply being what a warm heart is, a source of light and warmth for all it can reach. So let us rest now as that boundless, sun-like heart, shining warmth on all beings, holding the whole world in unguarded peace. Feel the heart open, wide as the sky, warm as the sun, holding all beings gently in its light. Feel how there is nothing to guard, nothing to fear, nothing to keep out, when the heart is open to hold everything, and rest in that boundless ease, that unguarded warmth, that peace with the whole of existence, and let it hold you and warm you and carry you at the heart of a warmth as wide as the world, gently down towards sleep. May all beings be well. May all beings be at ease. May all beings everywhere be held in warmth tonight, and may you rest among them, one warm heart within the vast warm heart of all, at peace with everything and drifting towards sleep. And there is a beautiful reciprocity in this boundless warmth. For as we wish all beings well, we come to feel, dimly at first, and then more surely, that all beings in their own way wish us well too. When we hold the whole world in warmth, we begin to sense the whole world holding us. When we send loving kindness out to all beings, we begin to feel loving kindness returning to us from all sides, as though we lay at the center of a vast web of warmth, giving and receiving goodwill in every direction at once. For loving kindness, fully opened, is not a one-way giving, but a great circulation of warmth, in which we are both the giver and the receiver, both the one who warms and the one who is warmed, held by the very warmth we offer, loved by the very love we give. And to rest in that circulation, giving and receiving warmth with all beings at once, is to rest in a great and gentle belonging, no longer separate, no longer alone, but woven into the warm heart of all things. So let yourself rest now in that great circulation of warmth, both giving and receiving, both warming and warmed. As you send loving kindness out to all beings, Let yourself also feel it returning from every direction, from all the warm hearts of the world, from the whole of existence, holding you as you hold it, wishing you well as you wish it well. You are not separate from the warmth you offer. You lie at its very heart, held by it, warmed by it, belonging to it completely. Feel yourself woven into that vast web of warmth, no longer a small heart giving from its own small store, but one warm point in a boundless circulation of goodwill, giving and receiving, warming and warmed, held and holding all at once. And rest there in that great belonging, that boundless circulation of warmth, and let it hold you and carry you gently towards sleep. And let the body soften completely now as the heart opens, for a boundless heart and a bracing body cannot long coexist. Where the heart opens without limit, the body too releases its long holding. Feel the warmth of the boundless heart spread down through the whole body, softening the shoulders that have guarded so long, opening the chest that has defended itself, loosening the belly, warming the hands, until the whole body rests in the same boundless ease as the heart, unguarded, soft, at peace, held in a warmth as wide as the world. There is nothing to defend now, in body or in heart, for you have opened to hold everything, and so there is nothing left outside to guard against. Let the body rest in that safety, the deep safety of an unguarded heart, and let the warmth hold it and carry it softly towards sleep. It is worth remembering too that this boundless heart is not something we must achieve all at once or hold perfectly. Even a few moments of it, even a faint opening toward all beings, is enough to warm us and to plant the seed of a wider warmth that grows over time, night by night. You need not feel a perfect, boundless love for all beings tonight. You need only turn the heart gently in that direction and let even a faint warmth flow outward, and it is enough. The great boundless heart of the sutta is not a demand but a direction, a way the heart may lean a little further each night until one day it finds that it has grown wider than it ever imagined. So do not measure yourself against some perfect boundless love tonight. Only lean the heart gently toward all beings and let whatever warmth arises be enough, and rest in it and let it grow in its own time. Let us rest here for a moment. Open the heart now without limit and let loving kindness radiate in every direction, above, below, and all around, to all beings everywhere. May all beings be happy and secure. May all beings be at ease. Let your warmth fill the whole world like light from a lamp, losing nothing, reaching all, and rest at the heart of that boundless light, holding the whole living world in kindness. When you are ready, we will go on together. We have opened the heart without limit and let its warmth flow out to all beings everywhere. And the Metta Sutta tells us too how such a heart lives day to day, what qualities it carries, how loving kindness shows itself, not only in grand wishes, but in a simple and gentle way of being. So let us turn now to those quiet qualities of a kind heart. For the Metta Sutta does not begin with the grand aspiration to love all beings. It begins rather with a gentle picture of the kind of person who is able to cultivate such love and the qualities they carry. And these qualities are not grand or heroic. They are quiet, simple, humble things. The sutta speaks of one who is able and upright, gentle in speech, humble, not proud, content and easily satisfied, not overburdened with duties, simple in their way of living, with the senses calmed, prudent and not brazen, and not caught up in the endless acquiring of things, and doing nothing, even the slightest, that the wise would later reprove. It is a portrait not of a saint on a mountaintop, but of a gentle, contented, humble, unburdened heart, living simply and kindly in the ordinary world. And there is a deep and gentle teaching hidden in this, that loving kindness grows most easily and most naturally in a heart that is itself light and contented and humble and unburdened, that the way of kindness is also a way of simplicity and ease. For consider for a moment how hard it is to be truly kind when we are overburdened, driven, discontented, proud, or grasping. When the heart is heavy with too many duties, restless with wanting, puffed up with pride, or clenched in the endless acquiring of more, there is little room in it for warmth, little ease from which kindness can flow. But when the heart is light, contented with what it has, humble, unburdened, simple in its wants, then there is room in it for warmth, and kindness flows from it naturally, as clear water flows freely from a full and open spring. And so, the Sutta's picture of the kind heart is also a gentle invitation to lighten our own hearts, to lay down our burdens, to be content with enough, to release the grasping and the pride, and to find in that lightness and simplicity the natural home of loving kindness. Let us explore a story about this. There was a woman in a village who was known above all for her kindness and her peace, and people often wondered how she had come to be so gentle, so unhurried, so warm to everyone she met. She was not wealthy, nor learned, nor important. She lived very simply in a small house with few possessions and wanted little. And one day a visitor, struck by her evident peace and kindness, asked her how she had cultivated such a warm and gentle heart. And she thought about it and said something the visitor never forgot. "I do not think I cultivated it," she said. "I think rather that I made room for it by laying down the things that crowded it out. When I was younger," she said, "I was busier and I wanted more, and I carried more, and I was prouder, and my heart was too full of all of that to have much room for kindness. But over the years, I laid these things down one by one. I stopped wanting so much and was content with enough. I stopped carrying so many burdens and kept my life simple. I laid down my pride and my hurry and my endless acquiring. And as I laid each of these things down, I found that there was more room in my heart, more ease, more warmth, until kindness, which had been crowded out all along, simply filled the space that was left. I did not make my heart kind," she said. "I only made room, and the kindness was there all along, waiting to fill the space." Let us stay with the woman a moment in her simple house, her light and contented heart full of the warmth that filled the room she had made for it, for she had discovered the quiet secret of the Sutta's teaching, that loving kindness is not so much cultivated as uncrowded, not so much added as made room for, by laying down the burdens and wantings and prides that fill the heart and leave no space for warmth. Her kindness grew not from great effort, but from great simplicity, from a heart lightened and unburdened and content, in which warmth could finally flow. She made room, and the kindness filled it. And perhaps your own heart tonight is crowded, as hers once was, with wantings and burdens and hurries and cares that leave little room for warmth. And the gentle invitation of the Sutta is not to try harder to be kind, but to lighten the heart, to lay down some of what crowds it, to make room for the warmth that is waiting all along to fill the space. You do not have to manufacture kindness. You have only to make room for it by setting down, even a little, the burdens and wantings that crowd it out. And tonight, in the quiet of this hour, is a perfect time to lay them down, to set aside the day's cares, the endless wanting, the heavy duties, the pride and the hurry, and to let the heart grow light and simple and unburdened, so that the warmth may flow into the space that is left. So let us lighten the heart now and make room for the warmth by laying down what crowds it. Let us set down for tonight the burden of all we have to do. It will keep until morning, and the heart may rest from it now. Let us set down the wanting, the endless reaching for more. You have enough for tonight, more than enough, and the heart may rest from its wanting now. Let us set down the pride, the comparing, the need to be more than we are. You are enough, exactly as you are, and the heart may rest from its striving now. Let us set down the hurry, the pressure, the driving. There is nowhere to rush tonight, and the heart may rest at last in stillness. And as each of these is laid down, feel the heart grow lighter and more spacious and more at ease, and feel the warmth flow naturally into the room that is made, filling the lightened heart with a gentle, contented, unburdened kindness, warm and simple and at peace. It is worth pausing on how counterintuitive this teaching is and how freeing. We are so often taught that to be good, to be kind, to be virtuous requires great effort, great striving, the taking on of more and more duties and disciplines. But the sutta suggests almost the opposite, that kindness flows most freely from a heart that has laid things down, that has become simple, light, and unburdened. The way to a kind heart is not to add more, but to carry less, not to strive harder, but to simplify, not to take on more duties, but to lay down the ones that crowd out warmth. And this is a deeply restful teaching, for it means that becoming kinder is not one more exhausting project, but a laying down, a lightening, a coming to rest. To grow in loving kindness is to grow lighter, simpler, more at ease. And this is a growth that feels not like effort, but like relief. And there is a particular contentment at the heart of all this, the contentment the sutta names when it speaks of one who is easily satisfied, content with little. For discontent is one of the great enemies of a warm heart. The restless wanting of more, the endless comparing, the sense that what we have is never enough, fills the heart with a low, anxious hunger that leaves no room for warmth. But contentment, the quiet sense that what we have is enough, that this life, this moment, this simple existence is enough, opens a great space of ease in the heart, and from that ease, kindness flows freely. So to cultivate contentment, to rest in enough, is also to cultivate loving kindness, for the content heart is a warm heart, at peace with what is, with room to spare for warmth toward all beings. So let us rest now in that contentment, that sense of enough, and let it warm the heart. For tonight at least, you have enough. You have this breath, this warmth, this bed, this quiet hour. You have a heart that can love and a world full of beings to love. You have, in this moment, everything you need. Let the restless wanting grow quiet and rest in the simple sufficiency of what is. There is nothing you lack tonight. There is nothing more you need. There is only this enough, this simple, sufficient, contented moment, and from its ease, let warmth flow freely toward yourself and all beings, the natural kindness of a heart at peace with what it has. Rest in enough. Rest in contentment. Rest in the light, unburdened, sufficient warmth of a heart that wants for nothing tonight, and let that contented warmth carry you towards sleep. And feel how light the whole of you becomes as the wanting and the burdens are laid down, how the body itself grows lighter, softer, more at ease, when the heart stops reaching and striving and simply rests in enough. Let that lightness fill you now, from the heart outward, a gentle, contented, unburdened ease, spreading through the whole of you, softening everything, wanting nothing, at peace with all, and let it carry you, light and warm and content, gently down into sleep. Let us explore another small story, for this teaching lives most clearly in a life. There was a man who had spent his early years chasing more, always striving, always acquiring, always burdened with duties and ambitions, and though he gained much, his heart was hard and hurried, and he was not kind, and he was not at peace. And then, through some turning of his life, he began to let go. He simplified. He wanted less, and carried less, and slowed down, and laid his burdens down one by one. And to his surprise, as his life grew simpler and lighter, his heart grew warmer. The hurry that had hardened him softened. The wanting that had closed him opened. And a kindness he had never had time for, never had room for, began to flow from him naturally, until in his later years he became known, like the woman in the village, for a gentleness and a warmth that all his early striving had never given him. He had thought when he was young that kindness was a luxury he could not afford, too soft for the serious business of getting on. And he learned at last that it was the other way around, that the striving had been crowding out the very warmth that was the sweetest thing in life, and that in laying the striving down, he had not lost anything worth keeping, but had finally made room for the best of himself. And so, the invitation of the sutta and of these two lives is gentle and clear, that you need not add anything to become kind, but only lay things down, that the warmth is already in you, waiting, and grows as the burdens lighten, that the way of loving kindness is also the way of simplicity, of contentment, of an unburdened and easeful heart. So keep laying down tonight whatever crowds the heart, and trust that as the space opens, the warmth will fill it, as it always does, of its own accord. So let us lay down a little more now, and make a little more room, and let the warmth fill it. Lay down the last of the day's cares. Lay down the last of the wanting. Lay down the last of the hurry, the pride, the striving, and feel the heart grow lighter still, and more spacious still, and feel the warmth flow into the widening room, filling the simple, unburdened heart with a gentle and contented kindness, warm and light and at peace, and let that lightness and that warmth carry you gently towards sleep. And there is a gentle joy in this simplicity, the quiet joy of a heart that has stopped needing more and learned to rest in enough. It is a joy quite different from the sharp excitement of getting what we wanted. It is a soft, steady, contented joy, the joy of the woman in her simple house, the joy of a heart at peace with what is. And it is this quiet joy, more than any excitement, that makes a life sweet and a heart warm and a sleep peaceful. So let that quiet contentment be yours tonight, the soft joy of enough, of a simple and unburdened heart at peace with its life, and let it warm you as you rest and sweeten your drift towards sleep. And notice how this simplicity of heart is also, quietly, the very thing that makes for good sleep. For the restless, wanting, striving, burdened heart is a poor sleeper, It lies awake with its lists and its longings, its comparisons and its cares. But the simple, contented, unburdened heart lies down easily, having nothing it must resolve, nothing more it must have, nothing it must strive for tonight. It simply rests, content with enough, light and warm and at peace, and slips easily into sleep. So the lightening of the heart is not only the home of kindness, it is also the doorway to rest. To lay down the burdens and the wantings is to prepare the heart for sleep, to make it simple and light enough to slip easily into the dark. So let the laying down be, tonight, both the making of a kind heart and the making of a restful one, and let the simple, contented, unburdened heart carry you lightly towards sleep. Let us rest here for a moment. Let us lighten the heart now and make room for its warmth by laying down what crowds it, the burdens, the wantings, the pride, the hurry, all set down for tonight, and feel the heart grow light and spacious and unburdened, and feel the warmth flow naturally into the room that is made. There is nothing to cultivate tonight, only room to make, only weight to set down. Rest now in that light and gentle and unburdened heart, filled with the warmth that flowed in the moment you made room for it. When you are ready, we will go on together. We have found that loving kindness flows most easily from a heart that is light, simple, and unburdened. And the Metta Sutta gives us one final teaching, the most beautiful of all for a night like this, that we may dwell in this loving kindness always, in every posture, through every moment, even as we fall asleep. So let us turn now to that sublime abiding, the making of loving kindness our very home. For the Metta Sutta ends with a teaching so perfectly suited to this quiet hour that it might have been made for it. Having described the boundless heart, the Buddha says that one should sustain this recollection of loving kindness in every posture and at every moment. Whether standing or walking or sitting or lying down, for as long as one is awake, one should maintain this loving kindness in the heart. And then he gives it a beautiful name. This, he says, is the sublime abiding. This is the divine dwelling. This here in this very life is the noblest and most beautiful way there is to live. To dwell in loving kindness through all the postures of the body and all the moments of the day, and even and especially as one lies down to sleep, is to make of the heart itself a divine dwelling, a place of warmth and peace, a warm home that one carries everywhere and rests within always. And notice that last posture the Buddha names, lying down. Whether standing, walking, sitting, or lying down, he includes deliberately the very posture you are in now, the posture of rest, the posture of sleep. For loving kindness is not only for the meditation cushion, not only for waking effort. It is a dwelling we may carry into our very bed, into the last moments before sleep, into the drifting off itself. We may make loving kindness the warm room we fall asleep in, the very last warmth felt in the heart as consciousness softens and loosens, the gentle dwelling that holds us as we cross over into sleep. And there is perhaps no sweeter way to fall asleep than this, dwelling in loving kindness, wrapped in warmth, the heart soft and open and at peace, drifting into sleep from within the divine dwelling of a loving heart. Let us explore a story about this. There was an old woman who, in the last years of her life, made loving kindness her constant dwelling. She had practiced it for so many years that it had become not something she did, but something she lived in, a warmth she carried through all her days. As she walked, she wished well those she passed. As she worked, her her heart hummed with quiet goodwill. As she sat in the evenings, she held the world in warmth, and most especially of all, as she lay down each night to sleep, she would let her whole heart rest in loving kindness, wishing all beings well as she drifted off, so that her last waking thought each night was a warm one, a wish for the happiness of all beings, and she fell asleep each night from within that warmth, as though sinking into a warm bath or into loving arms. And those who knew her said that she had the most peaceful sleep and the most peaceful face in sleep of anyone they had ever known, and that she seemed, even sleeping, to be smiling faintly, as though dwelling still in her dreams, in the warmth she had carried into sleep. And near the very end of her long life, a young person came and asked her what her secret was, how she had come to live and to sleep in such evident and unshakable peace. And she said, "I made a home in loving kindness, and I have lived there for many years. It is a warm house, and it has room in it for all beings everywhere, and I carry it with me wherever I go, and I lie down and sleep in it every single night. When I lie down, I do not lie down alone or in the cold. I lie down in the warm house of a loving heart, wishing all beings well, and I fall asleep in that warmth, and I wake in it, and I have dwelt in it so long that I hardly know any longer where it ends and I begin. This," she said, "is the sublime abiding the Buddha spoke of, to make loving kindness your home, and to dwell in it always, and to fall asleep each night, wrapped in its warmth. It is the sweetest place I have ever lived, and I would not trade it for any palace, and I shall, I think, fall asleep in it for the last time, one night soon, and simply dwell there forever." Let us stay with the old woman a moment, drifting off each night into the warm house of her loving heart, smiling faintly in her peaceful sleep, for she had made real the Sutta's most beautiful teaching, that loving kindness may become not a practice but a dwelling, a warm house we carry everywhere and sleep in every night, a home for the heart that holds all beings and holds us too as we drift into sleep. She did not fall asleep alone or in the cold. She fell asleep in warmth, in loving kindness, wishing all beings well, and it made her sleep and her whole long life a thing of quiet peace. And you may make loving kindness your dwelling too, tonight, this very night, and fall asleep from within its warmth. For you have spent this whole long evening building that warm house, warming your own heart, holding your loved ones, widening to the strangers, softening toward the difficult, opening to all beings, lightening and making room. And now the house is built, warm and wide and full of gentle light, and you may simply dwell in it now and let it hold you as you fall asleep. Let loving kindness be the warm room you drift off in tonight, the last warmth in the heart as consciousness softens, the gentle dwelling that carries you over into sleep. You need not do anything more. You have only to rest now in the warm house you have built and let it hold you, and wish all beings well as you drift off and fall asleep at last from within the sublime and gentle dwelling of a loving heart. So let us settle now into that warm dwelling and let it carry us into sleep. Let the heart rest in its own gentle warmth, soft and open and full of quiet goodwill, and let your last thoughts as you drift towards sleep be warm ones. May all beings be well. May all beings be at ease. May all who suffer find comfort. May all who are afraid find safety. May all who are tired find rest tonight as I find rest. And let those warm wishes be the last things in your softening mind, the gentle warmth you carry over the threshold into sleep, so that you fall asleep tonight, not alone, and not in the cold, but wrapped in loving kindness, dwelling in the warm house of a loving heart, drifting off from within its gentle and boundless warmth. There is something worth understanding about why falling asleep in loving kindness is so healing, so different from the way we usually fall asleep. For so often, we carry our worries into sleep, our regrets, our fears, our tight and guarded hearts. We lie down in a kind of low distress, and it colors our sleep and even our dreams, and we wake unrested. But to fall asleep in loving kindness is to lie down in warmth instead of worry, in openness instead of guarding, in peace instead of distress. And this warmth carries into our sleep, and even, it is said, into our dreams, so that we sleep more deeply, more sweetly, more restfully, wrapped in the warmth we carried over the threshold. The tradition even says that one who dwells in loving kindness sleeps easily, wakes easily, dreams no evil dreams, and is dear to all beings. And whether or not we take each of these literally, the heart of it is surely true, that to fall asleep wrapped in warmth is to sleep more sweetly than to fall asleep wrapped in worry, and that the last warmth of the waking heart becomes the first warmth of sleep. So let this be the way you fall asleep tonight, not in worry, not in guarding, not in the cold, but in the warm dwelling of loving kindness, wrapped in goodwill, the heart soft and open and full of gentle warmth. You have built this warm house all evening. Now simply live in it as you fall asleep. Let the warmth be the last thing you feel as consciousness softens. The gentle goodwill, the last movement of the heart before sleep takes you. And let it carry over the threshold with you, into your sleep, into your dreams, so that you sleep tonight, wrapped in warmth, held in loving kindness, dwelling in the sublime and gentle abiding, even as you dream. And let the warm wishes come once more, softly, growing fainter as sleep approaches, offered to all beings as your last waking gift. May all beings be happy. May all beings be safe. May all beings be at ease. May all who are suffering be comforted tonight. May all who are alone be held. May all who are afraid be made safe. May all who are tired find rest, as I find rest now. Let those wishes grow softer and slower as you drift, each one a small warmth released into the dark, until the wishing itself softens into simply being warm, simply dwelling in the loving heart, simply resting in the warmth you have made, as sleep rises gently to gather you in. And should any worry or coldness try to return even now at the edge of sleep, you need only return gently to the warmth, to the loving kindness, to the warm house of the heart as many times as it takes, and let it hold you again and warm you again and carry you again towards sleep. For the warm house is always here now, built and waiting, and you may always return to it and dwell in it and fall asleep within it, tonight and every night, wrapped in the boundless and gentle warmth of a loving heart. Rest now in that warmth. Dwell now in that kindness, and let loving kindness carry you softly and completely down into the sweetest of sleep. And notice how fitting it is that this warm teaching should be the last one of the evening and the last one before sleep. For we began this whole long evening with a tired and guarded heart, longing for warmth, and we have spent all these hours warming it, filling it, opening it, until it has become a warm house wide enough to hold all beings and gentle enough to fall asleep within. And now, At the end, there is nothing left to do but live in that warm house and let it hold us as we sleep. The whole evening has been a building of this warmth, a lighting of this fire, a making of this home. And now the fire is lit and the home is warm, and you may simply rest in it and let it carry you into sleep. So let the warm house hold you now completely. Let the heart rest in its own gentle warmth, full of goodwill for all beings, wanting nothing, guarding nothing, at peace with the whole of the world. Feel the warmth in the chest, spreading through the whole body, a gentle golden warmth, softening everything, holding everything, filling the simple, sleepy heart with quiet goodwill. And let your slow breath carry that warmth deeper with each cycle, breathing in warmth, breathing out warmth, until the whole of you is bathed in the soft golden light of loving kindness, warm and held and utterly at peace, dwelling in the sublime abiding, ready now to fall asleep from within its gentle warmth. There is nowhere else you need to be, and nothing else you need to do. You have built the warm house and lit its fire, and made its room wide enough for all beings and soft enough for sleep. And now you may simply rest in it, and let it hold you, and dwell in loving kindness as you drift, and fall asleep at last, wrapped in warmth, held in goodwill, dwelling in the warm and gentle house of a loving heart, as the warmth carries you softly down into the sweetest and most peaceful of sleep. And so let us gather gently toward the very edge of sleep, dwelling in warmth. Let the last of the day dissolve into the warmth of the loving heart. Let every worry, every guarding, every coldness melt into the gentle warmth you have built all evening. There is only the warm house now, and the soft breath, and the gentle goodwill, and the sweet approach of sleep. Let it come. You need not reach for it. Simply dwell in the warmth, and let sleep rise on its own from within the loving heart, and gather you gently in, and carry you over, wrapped in kindness, into the deep and peaceful dark. And this warm dwelling will be here for you tomorrow night too, and every night. For once the house is built, it does not vanish. You may return to it each evening, and lie down in it each night, and make it, over time, your constant home. The old woman dwelt in it for years, until she hardly knew where it ended and she began. And so may you, night by night, until loving kindness becomes not something you practice but something you live in. The warm house you carry through your days and sleep in through your nights. The sublime and gentle abiding that holds you, waking and sleeping, all your life long. But that is for the nights to come. For tonight, it is enough simply to rest in the warm house you have built this evening, and to fall asleep within it, wrapped in its gentle warmth. Let us rest here for a moment. Let loving kindness be the warm dwelling you fall asleep in tonight. Let the heart rest in its own gentle warmth, and let your last soft thoughts be warm ones. May all beings be well. May all beings be at ease. May all find rest tonight as I find rest. Dwell now in the warm house of a loving heart, and let it carry you gently towards sleep. When you are ready, we will come softly to the close. We have made loving kindness our dwelling, the warm house we may fall asleep within. And now the long, warm evening draws toward its close, and there is nothing left to do but let the warmth hold us completely, and drift, wrapped in kindness, into sleep. So let us come, gently and without hurry, to the last of it, and let the warmth we have built all evening hold us completely now, and let loving kindness itself carry us, wrapped and warm and at peace, the whole rest of the way into sleep. For the warm house is built now, and the fire is lit, and there is nothing left to do but rest within it, wrapped in kindness, and let the warmth carry us into sleep. All through this long, gentle evening, we have been building this warmth, kindling this fire, making this home for the heart. And now, at the close, it is warm and wide and full of soft light, and it holds us, and we may simply let go into it and drift, wrapped in loving kindness, down into the sweetest rest. We have come a long and warm way together this evening, and it is worth gathering it up gently before we let it all soften into sleep. We began with the tired and guarded heart, and the story of the frightened forest made peaceful by kindness, and we turned the first warmth at last toward ourselves. We learned to feed our own hearts, like the innkeeper who had fed everyone but herself. We let ourselves be held with the boundless tenderness of a mother for her only child. We let the warmth flow out to those we love, like the old man at his window, and widen to the strangers, like the woman on the train who saw at last that there are no strangers, only hearts. We softened as far as we were able, even toward the difficult one, and freed our own hearts in the softening. We opened without limit to all beings, and learned that our warmth is a flame that loses nothing in the giving. We lightened the heart, and made room for the kindness that was waiting all along, and we made loving kindness our very dwelling, the warm house we may fall asleep within, the sublime abiding. You do not need to remember any of it. If one warmth has stayed with you, one wish, one moment of tenderness, let that be enough, and let it do its quiet work in its own time. And if nothing has stayed but the warmth itself, that is more than enough, for the warmth is the whole of it, the heart of the whole teaching, the one thing worth carrying into sleep. Everything else was only a path to this, a heart grown warm and soft and kind. For this is the last and gentlest truth of all, that beneath all the teaching and all the widening loving kindness is simply warmth, simply the wish that beings be well, simply a heart grown gentle and open and kind. And that warmth is in you now, kindled through this long evening, and it will hold you as you sleep, and it will be there in the morning, a little more your own than it was before. So there is nothing left to do now but be wrapped in that kindness and let it hold you completely. You have spent this whole evening offering warmth to yourself, to those you love, to strangers, to the difficult, to all beings everywhere. And now, at the close of the evening, let all of that warmth turn back gently and hold you. Let yourself be tonight the beloved one, the one held in loving kindness, the one wished well, the one wrapped in warmth and watched over through the dark. You have given so much warmth this evening. Now simply receive it, all of it, flowing back to hold you, so that you rest tonight not as the one who gives the kindness, but as the one who is held by it, wrapped in it, carried by it, gently into sleep. Let it be your turn now to be cared for. Let it be your turn to be held. You have warmed the whole world tonight. Now let the whole world's warmth and your own turn back and warm you, and hold you, and wrap you softly in the kindness you have poured out so freely, and rest at last as the beloved one, held and warm and cared for through the whole of the night. Let us take these last few minutes simply to rest the body down, slowly and completely, wrapped in warmth. Let the whole weight of you be received by what holds you, and let each part soften into the warmth. Let the brow soften and the eyes grow heavy and the jaw release. Let the throat and the neck and the shoulders soften, dropping into the warm support beneath you. Let the arms grow heavy, the hands lie open and still. Let the chest, which has opened so wide tonight, grow soft and warm. Let the belly release. Let the whole body, from the crown of the head to the soles of the feet, grow heavy and warm and soft, held in loving kindness as a sleeping child is held in loving arms. And let the breath grow slow and warm, and with each breath, let the warmth spread a little further through you, and let a little more of the day dissolve. Breathing in, warmth gathers in the heart. Breathing out, it spreads through the whole of you, softening everything, warming everything, wrapping you more deeply in gentle kindness. There is nothing to do now but breathe and be warm and be held, and let sleep rise gently to gather you in. If the mind drifts, let it drift and return gently to the warmth, to the loving kindness, to the warm house of the heart. You are held, you are warm, you are wrapped in kindness, and you may let go now completely. Let us let the whole body grow warm and still now, part by part, wrapped in loving kindness like a warm blanket drawn up in the dark. Bring a soft, warm attention to the top of the head and let it soften and warm, and let the small muscles of the scalp and the brow, which have held so much, grow smooth and easy in the warmth. Let the space between the eyebrows soften and open. Let the eyes grow heavy and warm in their sockets, resting back into the gentle dark. Let the cheeks soften and the jaw release, and the whole face grow soft and warm and at peace, as a sleeping child's face is soft and warm. And let the warmth move down, slow and golden. Let the throat soften, and the neck and the shoulders, which have guarded and carried so long, let them drop down and back and grow warm into the soft support of the bed. Let the arms grow heavy and warm, the elbows, the wrists, the hands, those hands that have reached out to hold so much tonight. Let them lie open and warm and still. Let the chest, the great warm center of the loving heart, grow soft and open and full of gentle warmth, so the breath moves freely, low and slow and warm. Let the belly soften and warm. Let the back, the hips, the long muscles of the legs, the knees, the calves, the ankles, and the very soles of the feet, let all of it soften and grow heavy and warm, and sink into the warm support beneath you until the whole body is at rest, warm from the crown of the head to the soles of the feet, wrapped in loving kindness, held in warmth, utterly at peace. And as the body warms and settles, the breath settles with it, growing slower and quieter and warmer, each breath arriving on its own and leaving on its own, asking nothing of you. You do not have to breathe. You are being breathed gently, warmly, as you are being held gently, warmly, by the boundless kindness that wraps you now. So you may hand the breathing over and simply rest in the warm rocking of it, the soft rise and the soft fall, wrapped in warmth, held in kindness, drifting towards sleep. And feel yourself held tonight in a love without limit and without condition, not because you have earned it, not because you have been good enough, but simply because you are, simply because you are here, simply because your sleeping life is precious beyond all measure. You are held tonight the way a mother holds her only child, watched over through the whole of the dark, treasured for each soft breath, wrapped in a warmth that asks nothing and gives everything. And you may let yourself be held that way completely now. Let down the last of the long guard. Let go of the last of the holding and simply be the beloved one, safe and warm in the arms of loving kindness, needing to do nothing, needing to be nothing, only to rest and to be loved and to sleep. There is a great comfort in remembering as you drift that you are not alone in this warmth, that all around you, across the whole sleeping world, countless other hearts are being held in the same kindness, wish the same peace, wrapped in the same gentle warmth. All the tired hearts, all the guarded hearts, all the ones who lay down tonight longing to be held, all of them gathered with you into the same boundless warmth, the same loving kindness that holds the whole world softly through the dark. You are one warm heart among countless warm hearts, all held together, all wished well, all drifting together, wrapped in kindness towards sleep. And it is enough simply to be one of them, held among all the others, warm among all the warm, loved among all the loved, and to let that belonging carry you gently down. Let the warm wishes for all beings grow softer now and fainter, fading like the last warm light at the edge of sleep, until even the wishing softens into simply being warm, simply being held, simply resting in the loving kindness you have built and been given this whole long evening. And should any coldness or worry try to return, even now you need only return gently to the warmth, to the warm house of the loving heart, as many times as it takes, and let it wrap you again, and warm you again, and hold you again. For the warm house is always here now, and you may always rest within it, and you do not have to stay awake to feel it hold you. If sleep is near, let it take you whenever it will, mid-breath, mid-wish, wrapped in warmth, and you will lose nothing, for the warmth carries over with you into your sleep, into your dreams, holding you through the whole of the night. And notice, as you lie here wrapped in warmth, how the tired and guarded heart you came in with has softened over these gentle hours into something warmer and more open. That is the quiet gift of this evening. Not that anything in your life was fixed or solved, but that your heart was warmed and softened, and reminded that it is worthy of kindness, and taught a little more how to hold itself and all beings gently. And that warmth does not vanish when the night ends. Something of it stays and softens the days to come, and makes the heart a little more its own warm home. But that is for tomorrow. For tonight, there is only this: the warm house, the soft breath, the boundless kindness, and the sweet approach of sleep. You have understood enough. You have loved enough and been loved enough this evening. You have given so much warmth to yourself and to all beings, and now you may simply be held by it, wrapped in it, carried by it, needing to give nothing more, needing to do nothing more, only to rest, warm and soft and held, in the loving kindness that holds the whole world and holds you. Let the last of your holding go, the last of your guarding, the last of your effort even to rest, and simply let yourself be carried, wrapped in kindness, down into the deep and gentle warmth of sleep, and let the warm wishes come one last time, softly, growing fainter as sleep approaches, the gentle blessing of the Metta Sutta, offered over the whole world and over your own tired heart. May all beings be happy. May all beings be safe and secure. May all beings be at ease. May all who suffer be comforted. May all who are afraid be made safe. May all who are lonely be held. May all who are tired find rest tonight, as I find rest. And may I too be well. May I too be at ease. May I too be held tonight, in the warmth of loving kindness, wrapped in it, carried by it, gently down into sleep. May you be free tonight and always from the tiredness of a guarded heart. May you remember, when you are hard on yourself, to turn warmth homeward and feed your own heart too. May you learn a little more each night to hold yourself and all beings in the boundless tenderness of a loving heart. May loving kindness be your dwelling, the warm house you carry through your days and sleep in through your nights. And may you rest now, tonight, as deeply and as sweetly as you need to rest, wrapped in kindness, held in warmth, dear to all beings and dear, at last, to yourself. The warm house is built and the fire is lit, and you are held within it. There is nothing left to give tonight, and nothing left to guard, and nothing left to do, only warmth to rest in, only kindness to be wrapped in, only the deep and gentle warmth of a loving heart, holding you softly through the whole of the dark. You are exactly where you need to be, which is here, held in loving kindness, warm and safe and cared for. Let go now softly and completely, and let the warmth hold you and carry you wrapped in kindness all the way to the morning. The forest of the heart, once frightened and guarded, has been made peaceful by kindness, as the monk's forest was so long ago. And you may dwell in that peace now, wrapped in warmth, held in loving kindness, wanting for nothing, guarding against nothing, at peace with yourself and with all beings, and simply let the warmth carry you the last gentle way into sleep. Rest now and sleep deeply and sleep well, wrapped in the boundless and gentle warmth of a loving heart. And thank you from the heart for spending these quiet and gentle hours here, and for letting yourself at last be held. May you be well. May you be at ease. May you be happy and safe and free from suffering. And may you be held tonight and always in the boundless and gentle warmth of loving kindness. Sleep now, dear heart. You are loved. You are held. You are wrapped in kindness. Sleep well.